I'm almost like a choti mummy to her when it comes to her. Everything is like, no, I'm very protective about her. If you can't trust your partner fully, then where's the love? मतलब नमक मार के देना, किधर मार के देना? मार क्यों रहे हैं हम नमक? Engineering students are logical and they're also very curious. Heropanti to Dilwale, if you ask Rohit sir, he would be like, ये बहुत सवाल पूछती है. But Dimple ma'am is just so like, one day I would want to play a personality like her. Debo is like, you know, sometimes I used to feel like I'm acting with Geet. Tabu ma'am is just, I don't think she ever prepares. Kajol ma'am, I feel like I told her also, I think she's again someone who after so many years, so many films, is as hungry for the scene, is all in for the scene, is trying to understand how the scene can get better, you know, on set. And that hunger, I've also seen in Shah Rukh sir. I want every husband have like goosebumps, look at his wife and feel like, oh my god, she went through this. I always get attracted to men who are like taller, to at least be able to kiss like that and not like this. Apart from just being on set and having to stand like that in close-up shots. That's the only thing. Those are the places where we can actually go out and not bother.
Good place for romance also.
Great place.
Hi, I'm in conversation with an actor who's just completed 10 years in the film industry. She's played a werewolf, she's played a surrogate mother, and she's played a robot. She wears very many hats. She has a skin brand, she has a fitness brand, and she has a clothing line, and the list continues. In the latest addition to wearing many hats, she's now turned producer with her latest film, Do Patti. I'm in conversation with Kriti Sanon. Thank you, Kriti, for being part of.
Thank you so much for doing this after so long.
Yes,
I feel like I haven't chatted with you for ages now.
So my first question to you is, do you feel less privileged and entitled now that you can't do your star nakhra when you are a producer? Have you understood what it means?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I don't think I'm the person who had star nakhras otherwise also. You can ask my producers that. So I've always been that person. But yeah, I think a little bit because I was also producing, I was exploited on this set with people coming and saying, ma'am, ye to khatam karna padega. So there were like 1-2 days where I worked like some 15, 16 hours at a stretch, which is not healthy. It's not something that one should do. But yeah, of course, it's the first time that I was also producing. My co-producer Kanika was also doing it for the first time. So there were many firsts. And when there are many firsts, people are all learning. Everything is like dealing with the situation. But our focus was to try and make the best version of the film that we could.
What made you take up production with this? There must be some reason, It's a great role. I've seen the trailer and, it obviously looks like they're twins and there's a twist in the tale and it's a thriller and all of that. But what made you say, okay, I want to produce this film also? Actually,
I think when I was shooting for Mimi, I felt really passionate towards that film. And I was like emotionally attached to it. And I wanted to be like creatively involved in everything. And I could feel that craving inside me. Since the day I've come into this industry, I think I've been a curious child on set, from on Heropanti realizing that it's a set and not real, things like that, to really trying to look around and absorb and appreciate every aspect of filmmaking, music, edit, every little thing that goes on in making a film. And there was a part of me that was creatively wanting to get involved beyond the lens of just being an actor, but for a film that I really feel for. And I think I was also craving for something intense and more layered as an actor after Mimi. I was getting some great scripts like Teri Baaton Mein and Crew, where it was fun and, great characters to play. But that depth and that intensity and that was still like something I was craving for. And मुझे मिल ही नहीं रही थी वैसी script. So I really met Kanika and I was like, listen, I want to produce a film. Like, I want to start also supporting films other than just acting in them. Do you have anything that, you are writing? And she was like, is there something that you feel for, a subject? And I told her a subject. And I was like, I really feel for this. So she had a twin story in mind. So twin story, I was like, okay, double role I've never done in my life before. This is going to be challenging. So I was like, okay, you write something and tell me. After a month, she came to me where she married the twin story that she had and the mudda that I really felt for into a beautiful story. And she just narrated like a 5-page story of it. And I just had like, my eyes were a little wet and I had goosebumps on and I was like, listen, I'm on for it. Let's do this. And even she wanted to produce the film that she was writing. So I was like, okay, let's do it
So this was
together.
during COVID.
No, this is not
Post COVID.
during this,
Okay.
post COVID, much after
Okay.
COVID.
Okay. Clearly, it looks like a sibling story. And is what is the kind of relationship you share with your own sibling? I mean, is it combative? Do you all tear each other's eyes out, or is it more
I am
amicable?
too attached to her. I'm really close to her. She's my best friend. She's someone I tell everything. She knows everything about my life. But I feel like siblings also go through many phases. Like, there was a time jab main badi behan thi. Then there was a time when we used to not get along. We used to fight a lot and we had different friend circles. Then there was a time when I moved to Mumbai and we were distant a little bit. We weren't like that attached because her life was going on in Delhi, mine was in Mumbai. And then when she moved to Mumbai, I think we started living just the two of us. And I think our friendship became like thicker then. And एक age के बाद I think कोई भी age gap हो, it doesn't matter. You become like, almost same age, best friends, that. So I feel like I'm very protective about her. I'm almost like a choti mummy to her when it comes to her. Everything is like, no, I'm very protective about her. But there are days where we fight. There are days we don't talk to each other. There are days we bang the door on each other. So that still happens.
She's seeing somebody. Would you give her any kind of relationship advice? Does she
She
come to you
doesn't
for relate?
need,
No.
yeah, she doesn't need, she's more sane in relationships than I am usually.
Hmm.
So I think we are very different people in relationships. So I
What
don't
kind
think
of person are you in a relationship? Psychotic, stress free. What kind of
I
person are
think
you?
I'm a little head over heels in love sort of a person,
Yeah, not like
usually.
your character in Do Patti.
Right now, I don't know who's head over heels in that, but yeah, I'm not psychotic. I'm pretty understanding, sometimes over trusting and
Mm-hmm.
over understanding. But I think that's the only way. If you can't trust your partner fully, then where's the love? So I'm that kind of a person. I'm a little like romantic at heart and all of that. My sister's more like she is romantic, but she's also the practical one and all.
Now, you mentioned Delhi interestingly, and I've met a lot of actors who from, I interviewed Radhika Madan and Sanya Malhotra, and they had lovely Delhi stories. Do you have your stock of Delhi stories as well? Delhi versus Bombay, and coming here, the difference that you see, because everybody said, it's a bit predatory. They, as being girls, they had to always fend for themselves. They're always looking over their shoulder. It's like somebody had an incident where some eve teasers were chasing them. It was almost harrowing. I remember Sanya telling us the incident. She hide in some bus station because these. So, did you ever feel fragile and vulnerable when you were
I
in?
mean, yeah, Delhi obviously is not considered safe, especially for women, especially at night. And when I say night, it's like beyond like 8 p.m., 9 p.m., like that. And I remember the phase when I was modeling, in Delhi while I was also in doing my BTech. And I used to drive to my shows. And my parents would really be checking on me when I would be coming back, even at like 8:39. That where are you? And कहीं पे गाड़ी खराब हो गई तो मतलब they are like really super stressed. Um, so we had to make sure if we're going out at night, even in a group of like girls, there are also boys with us. So that thing was there, which I think for my parents, I remember when I moved to Mumbai and I used to sometimes come back from shoot at 2 o'clock, they would ask me, Kiske saath? And I'm like, driver? Or I'll be like, I'm driving. And they're like, alone? Like, how are you coming alone? So for them, it was not, it was like, how can it be so safe? And my dad was living here in the beginning. So I think he somewhere realized that
Mm.
it is way safer. Mumbai is way safer for women. I've never had to think of, oh, I can't travel at night or I can't shoot at night. I've come at like odd hours because of my profession and been okay. But हाँ, मुंबई में आकर I realized that you have to protect your Hindi. because your Hindi goes for a toss. Because when you start talking to Mumbai people, where like your basic ling and your ki ka and you know everything is like मतलब नमक मार के देना किधर मार के देना मार क्यों रहे हैं हम नमक you know right मारो left मारो why is it always मारो it's very aggressive so I feel like Hindi like people just appreciating you as an actor knowing Hindi was I was like, okay, that's a big deal. I'm glad my Hindi is saf. So that is the thing. And as a Delhi girl, I had to, when I was acting always, I realized very soon that I talk very fast sometimes. दिल्ली में थोड़ा तेज जल्दी बात करते हैं कई बार. If you hear a lot of Delhi girls, they talk very fast. And when I used to go and dub my own dialogues and I'll be like almost abusing myself कि इतना तेज क्यों बोला है ये मैं कैसे डब करूँ you know you can't dub your own self so those are few Delhi traits which I still have.
You know, you're an engineering student, and engineering students are supposed to be very cold, clinical, to the point. Is that why you also have this business bent of mind and you decided to venture into stuff like that?
No, not at all. In fact, I never thought I have a business bent of mind. Engineering students are logical and they're also very curious. I think we're taught from, you know, in the BTech, we are taught to always ask questions, always be like, why is this happening? The why and how is very important in everything. So I think that is something that I've always had from Heropanti to Dilwale. If you ask Rohit sir, he would be like, ये बहुत सवाल पूछती है. You know, so I think I always heard ये बहुत सवाल पूछती है, but I'm not from a theater background or it's acting is not something I learned ever. Had no experience. So asking questions was my only way of understanding, growing, evolving. Um, and I think that's something that I apply when I'm doing films also. I always have a lot of questions. I'm always curious. Why is this character saying, you know, what she's saying like this? Where is she coming from? You know, how is she the way she is? Should I do it like this or should I do it like this? What if I do it like this? I think I'm curious like that. Like I said, I was very curious when I came on set for the first time in Hero Bandi and I was like, अच्छा ये set है क्या? ये real नहीं है? You know, I had those basic things. So curiosity has been something that has led me, you know, to in different directions. Whether it's like my skincare, and I was curious about understanding skincare. In the lockdown, I think when I hit 30, I was like, I really need to take care of my skin, and I really started understanding skincare. Science background, it also interests me a little more. And then I was like, okay, there's a little gap in the market and I want to create skincare. When I met my partners of Hyphen, um, I had a list with what kind of products, with what kind of ingredients, the scientific names of ingredients would I want to hyphen together. And they were like, I don't think they were expecting it from an actor. So, yeah, I think I use my engineering buddhi in a lot of places.
You know, you've lived also alone in the beginning of
Yeah.
your this. Uh, I mean, I've heard a lot of cases, a lot of actor friends tell me it really takes a toll on mental health, and you know, you're vulnerable when you're living alone and you have to go through a lot of stressful situations while you're acting. So, did you ever feel the need to speak to a therapist, take therapy? You know, any of your roles that really sort of troubled you, or a scene which troubled you? I mean, like, say, your mirror scene in Mimi and stuff like that. When you look at that, do you did you ever feel the need? You know, yeah, I really. I mean, if you have diabetes, you go to a diabetologist.
Of
If you
course.
have,
Absolutely.
do you did you ever feel the need to take therapy or
I
something?
mean, staying alone, I don't think has much to do with it. And me especially, I come from, I was very protected when I was in Delhi. Like, I've never stayed in hostel, you know, I was always like, my parents were always around. So for me, the first experience of staying alone was when my dad went back to Delhi too, and like his job moved. And I was for the first time alone in a city like Mumbai where I didn't know too many people. Um, but that makes you grow stronger. I didn't like the sound of silence in the house, you know, which is something that I don't like sometimes when I go back to the hotel room also after a scene. Like when you're shooting outside, you know, you're sometimes like, you are in the middle of chehel pehel on the set. And then when you go into the hotel room, it's pin drop silence. And sometimes you just put like music or TV or something to have some sound. That's it. And I always used to hate the feeling of going to an empty room and an empty house. Um, but yes, coming to the other part of it, yeah, there there are some times when you emotionally give yourself to a lot of scenes or a lot of characters, whether it is the mirror scene in Mimi, um, before which I tried to like psych myself with certain emotional memories of mine, which, you know, I felt like hit me somewhere deep. And I was feeling a lump in my throat. And then when I started walking to the set, I didn't feel anything. And I was like, what is going on? And when I screamed during the scene, something that was pent up came up. I to feel like sometimes it's also therapy that happens in the scene, you know, where some stuff which is like really deep inside you, with that scream comes out and you suddenly start crying. And it happened for the first time that the director called set and I kept crying. And that's never happened before. So I also felt like a release in the scene. But there are times, like there was a phase post lockdown where I did feel like I was going through phases of feeling low randomly. And I felt like talking to a therapist. I think I tried to talk to one too, but somewhere something didn't click. You know, the energy has to click with the therapist, I feel. And then I went on. And recently I went in Do Patti. There were certain scenes which I was doing, and I was trying to go back to an emotional memory um, again. And yes, it did help me to perform the scene, and I performed. But 20 days later, about 20 days later, I was just feeling extremely low. And I started meditating on and off. I meditate with someone on phone. And I was talking to her, like I talked to her about everything that I'm feeling. So I was talking to her and I was like, you know, I'm feeling really low randomly. Like, I don't know why. And she was like, okay, you know, this film that you've been doing, there were some intense scenes. Like, was there something that stayed with you or, you know? And I told her that I went back to an emotional memory to perform that scene. And she was like, can you please stop doing that? Because she was like, yes, I understand you want to give 100%. We all know you want to act well, you want to be a great actor, you know, you want people to appreciate your performance, but you also want to be a happy human being, no? You want to have a happy life. Um, when you're going back to an emotional memory again and again and again, what you're doing is you're not letting the wound heal. You're going back and stabbing it. You're going back and stabbing it and shadowing it every now and then. And it's helping you to perform right now, but you're not letting it heal. So you got to stop that, because it's that 20 days later is affecting you emotionally and mentally. So I think I realized and I understood what she was saying. And I kind of swore that I'm never going to do that again. No matter what, I have to find a different process to things then. Because yes, I want to perform to the best level, and every actor tries to find something inside them from their journey, their memories. But it's not very healthy to be going back to an emotional memory that made you feel like not good, you know, because then you don't ever cross it, you don't ever pass it, you'll never feel indifferent towards it because you're again trying to feel the same thing. So yeah, that was a little learning which happened very recently, in fact.
Now, see, you worked with Kajol. You worked, this is your second. Is there some sort of difference working with Kajol in Dilwale and working with Kajol in Do Patti?
I think difference is me. Because I think in Dilwale, I was too new, yeah. I was a baby on set. I was the youngest. I didn't know anything
Also,
at
it didn't
all.
need much acting or anything,
We didn't have
compared to
scenes
what
like
you've
that, of
done
course,
in Do Patti.
100%. We didn't need, but even that, even for those two scenes that I had with her, I don't think I was my best, you know. I don't think I had found my process, or, you know, just like when I go back and watch Dilwale, I'm like, oh my God, मैं शाहरुख खान के सामने ऐसे कैसे बोल रही हूँ, you know. how he what he must be thinking about me कि ये कितना खराब act कर रही है. So I think you always look back and you feel that about yourself. Um, and also because we had just like 2 scenes, 3 scenes, we didn't really have much together. I think somewhere I feel like we didn't get to break that ice. You know, yeah, we traveled during promotions and all of that, but still it was like Varun and Shahrukh sir and all. And Varun also she knew really well because Varun had AD'd on My Name is Khan. So Varun was like a pal and he was like chilling and chatting and they were like laughing together. They were a good duo. For me, I used to feel like, you know, a little like behind. I used to feel like a little aloof and, you know, I didn't get to break that ice with her. So when on this film, we finally got to do like really meaty scenes together and, you know, a lot of like really amazing give and take as actors. And I feel like have found a little bit of my craft, have grown a little. It was nice to share these really meaty, you know, edgy scenes with her, powerful face-offs, and finally got to break the ice. Finally, like when Kajol ma'am tells you that, you know, you should do it a little, maybe this line that you're saying, but I don't think you should take it on this tone. What if you take it like this? It kind of helps you. And at the same time, she's very open in terms of like if I say कि मैम लेकिन ये सीन हम पहले ऐसे एक बार कर चुके हैं तो अगर अभी ऐसे करें तो you know, she's very open. She's like, you know, what she's saying is right. Or if she sees you perform and she gives you a little pat on the back where she's like, you know, that was nicely done. It just gives you so much confidence that, oh my God, Kajol is saying that. And she's someone who's always known for just not just her presence, her eyes, but also her powerful performances that she has given. So I was really happy to finally break that ice. Like you would also see whether on the trailer launch or whatever, like we're a lot more chatty and giggly and you know, she has this infectious energy about her.
Yeah, she does.
You definitely would know.
Why I say is also because say you work with Dimple, you work with Tabu, you work with Kareena, you work with Kajol, and you know when women come together, it's either it's a nightmare or there's a lot of estrogen all over the walls, or there's a lot of bonding. You know, you want to talk about crew, you want to talk about Teri Baaton Mein, you know, like if I had to say one line each on the stalwarts that you work with.
Very difficult to have one line each. But I'll tell you my experience, like with Dimple ma'am, so I wish and I pray and I hope that I get to do more scenes with her because I technically literally had like 2 scenes, out of which one was like Dawai Do. So there was not much happening in that. And there was the other scene where the robot malfunctions and, you know, I don't think she was expecting me to act like that. And when I came and I did the rehearsal, she started laughing. And then she was like, that was really good. And that again gives you a little reassurance, especially when you're doing such a whacked out character. You're like, okay, hasi aa rahi hai. You know, that's there. But Dimple Ma'am is just so like, just the way she dresses, the way she carries herself. She had this like colorful chashma in her life that she was wearing. I feel like she's a personality that, you know, one day I would want to play a personality like her on the screen. She's too good.
She's lovely.
Yeah, and Bebo is like, you know, I sometimes I used to feel like, oh my God, I'm acting with Geet. You know, that moment used to happen. I think Bebo is just amazing, and she just like there's some spark that comes when she's in front of the camera, but there's also preparation that, you know, one doesn't see. I don't know at home if she does something, but I've always seen her like, you know, before the take is gonna start, she's like walking around and she's trying to say the dialogue, you know, like how would she say it. She doesn't care kaun dekh raha hai, kaun nahi dekh raha hai. She's trying to do what she's going to do on screen and, you know, do it in different ways and practice it. So that was really amazing to watch. Tabu ma'am is just she's unpredictable. She would just do something so random and impromptu in the scene that would just make you laugh, and it would just like change the whole tonality of the scene. You never looked at what she's doing in the way she did it. So I feel like a lot of experience, and there's just some I don't think she ever prepares. Ever. I think it's just like whatever happens on set happens. Um And of course, Kajol ma'am, though I've worked with like 2 times. Kajol ma'am, I feel like is, I told her also, I think she's like looking better than what she looked in Dilwale also. And she looked damn good in Dilwale. So I feel like she's just looking so amazing every single year. I don't know what she's eating, what she's doing. I really, really want to know. But she's again someone who, after so many years, so many films, is as hungry for the scene, is all in for the scene, is trying to understand the how the scene can get better, on set. And that hunger I've also seen in Shah Rukh sir, which always made me like, wow, like be in awe of him. Where after so many films you can get like, हाँ क्या करना है, you can get like that, but he's not like that. Even she's not like that.
Yeah, true. We're also in this age where everything is the numbers. It's the box office game, and now is also
And
PR.
numbers are only increasing
Yeah.
now.
I mean, there are no stars left. There are Instagram stars. So everything in life is curated for Instagram. Everything is an attempt to Insta में आ गया तो travel. Insta में आ गया तो wonderfully posed pictures. I just woke up after bed after 500 pictures.
Selected, edited.
This thing. So it's almost I don't know what how to explain it. It is like a Truman's Show. The cameras are on
Yeah.
24/7. Isn't that scary? I mean, I remember when I see clips of Kajol and Tabu and all coming to the Filmfare Awards without hair, makeup, this and
Listen,
like crazy.
I wish, a part of me wishes that I was in that time. Also, there were lesser awards. Like, just like, there were not 500 award shows. There were lesser award shows, the credibility of those award shows, and they were genuinely celebrations. Um, you know, um, the way people would just turn up for the award show was so relaxed and so their personality. It's not like someone's put them together. I feel like everyone's personality
So why
reflected.
didn't why you can start that? You can do your own thing and
I
come to
can do
the
my own
award.
thing and come in PJs. I would love to come in PJs.
Nobody's come in PJs. They all come, but it was there was something authentic and like you said, everything is for the gram. So even before you get out of the house, you have a photographer clicking pictures, doing a photo shoot with you in
That
the
to,
house.
yeah, that
So no, what I
everything has become a lot more complicated. I think a part of me also feels like, when you get validation, whether it is on social media or your reviews or your critics, or like which part of it is real, because everything today can have a value. Most of the things can have a value. So you start questioning कि इसमें real तारीफ कर कौन रहा है? कितना सच है और कितना नहीं है. I think वो थोड़ा superficial हो गया है. I don't know. Actually, you're also in the middle of all of this. I don't know what you have to say about it.
I mean, I have many views and many opinions, but
We would love to know, Jitesh.
No, but it's crazy. It's nightmarish. The looking for validation from a app or looking for validation from Instagram. Something is obviously somebody's not thinking right, and the thing is, it's become the herd mentality.
It's also become like perception may not be the truth.
It's not. That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. If you have 28 million, why aren't those 28 million people going to see your movie?
No, those 28 million are interested in what you're posting on Instagram.
That-
Sometimes not even that.
But see, that's what I'm saying. It's detracting from the purpose. You came here to make
Yeah.
art. You came here to show your craft. But somewhere it's all sort of become, and now it needs.
But there's audience that's consuming this data. Now there's audience that is believing everything that's been put out also. Let me also tell you that. Like, there are audiences that read rumors or things and genuinely believe them and discuss them in their living rooms. So I feel like with social media, what has also happened is that we're feeding our brains so much information. Yeah. And as platforms need something to put out every few seconds. Just that is also becoming too much.
I think what also this constant scrolling is overstimulating
the brain. Your brain is not supposed to take so much. 100%. Maybe like 4 years back, I used to tell my hairstylist who would be scrolling and would get upset if he didn't get views on something. Would get upset that I'm not getting views, and I was like, "What are you doing to yourself? Why are you like stressing about views and some people watching. Like, you're in this moment right now, but you're more worried about how to capture it than to live it. And this is what is happening with the current generation.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But having said that, today, for whatever reason, I find myself addicted to reels. And I once said I'm never gonna get addicted to reels, but for example, I'm obsessed with skincare. I start watching skincare reel. It interests me. I go to the next. It interests me. I go to the next. Suddenly, I'm watching something else, but I'm still watching. Suddenly, 2 hours have passed, and I don't know what I've done. So, and I feel drained, mentally.
That's
So,
very draining. It's very
I mean, honestly, the generation that has seen no social media and then seen the transition to social media is also a little confused with what is going on, because somewhere a part of us misses that. This is too much, exhausting. Imagine the people who are just born in this.
Ah,
They've not seen another side. This is normal.
yeah.
Yeah.
The kids in school and all of that, it's crazy. It's crazy. Also, another thing is we've talked, because we were talking about Instagram and all that. The need, every day I see people's faces changing because of this constant, somebody's doing Botox, somebody's doing fillers, somebody's doing this, somebody's doing that. So is there constant pressure? Vanity, does the vanity get better of you, and do you feel like, okay, maybe I should also try it out? Or I'm aging, like you said, I'm 30, and I'm like, what the hell is she talking? She's only 30. uh, is there like a, you know I don't know what the word is. It's not addiction, obviously, but there is
It
this.
can become an
You said you
addiction.
use the word validation. So people are doing things to their eyebrows, hairs, buttocks, boobs,
But
thighs.
very young people are also
That's
doing.
what
It's
exact.
not like
That is my
people are
point.
aging and they're doing.
That is my point. I read an article called.
People are doing before coming into
Yes,
this world also.
exactly.
So,
So that's what I'm saying. They're so tayar. Everybody's so tayar at 21. They're all tayar. And is there a pressure for you to do stuff to yourself, and do you have people telling you, like, we come to the entourage system? Do you you when you're doing your hair, for an example, if you have a person telling you 10 times, I don't think you're looking nice today, I don't think you're looking nice,
I don't
or you're
surround myself with those
no.
people. I consciously don't surround myself with those people. And what you're saying is right, because um, your core people are very, very important if they are making you feel insecure about things. And it might be coming from a place where they wish well for you.
Correct.
But
But they trigger you.
it has to be a conscious decision where you have to, if that happens also, you have to snub that conversation there and then. Because why is this happening? It's more insecurity. Firstly, let me also just say, I don't judge it at all. I feel to each his own. If you feel like you feel more confident by changing some part of you, it's up to you.
Even if you look like a bhoot.
But it's up to you. Then it's your decision. Then you have to face whatever happens with that decision also. You may or not be great, or you may be like, oh shit, what did I do? So that's your decision, but it's your decision. It's your life, it's your body, it's your face. Do what you want. I don't feel the judgment of it. But yes, I do understand, and I do see that I don't want young girls to start feeling the pressure of looking perfect all the time. Nobody looks perfect all the time. I also don't look perfect all the time. I have phases, I have times, I have days when I wake up and I'm puffy. I have days when I am, I feel like, oh my God, my face is feeling so puffed right now and my eyes are feeling small for that reason. You have your days, you have your good hair
But did
days.
you feel, oh, my face is puffy when you were in college? I'm talking about did you ever feel that?
No, when
then?
social media was not there.
Correct. That's
Social
the point.
media, filters. When are you ever putting a photograph that doesn't have a filter? Please see how many times you put it. When are you putting an unedited, unfiltered photograph? So I feel like you have to understand what this is doing to you, and it's a personal understanding.
crazy.
You have to look into yourself and see कि ये क्या हो रहा है मैं. This is not how I look.
But does it trigger anxiety in you, all this?
No, I think I try and see. I'll be lying where every person, especially if you're in a profession like this, which is based on vanity. There is how you look. This is what you sell. Of course the actor in it also, but this is what is seen first. There is a part of you that wants to look good and feels sad that today I've got a pimple, oh my god, I have a shoot, all of that. So that is there, but it doesn't make me feel insecure to the level where I feel like, oh, I feel the need to change something. Firstly, it's too late to change anything. I've been here for 10 years. And secondly, I just feel like, no, I wanna age gracefully. Um, I want to take care of myself. I think a lot of what we're doing to ourselves mentally also shows on your face. It's everything altogether. So your overall well-being is what you want to take care of. And I do want to be real about things. I don't want to always put pictures where, I'm just all very perfect. I want to go a little away, consciously away from the filter zone. Yeah. Like I hate when I do photo shoots and all. And there are photographers who touch it up like it's like smooth. And suddenly you feel like you're wearing a cake of makeup and I wasn't. So I always tell them like, don't touch up so much. I don't like it. Like keep it as minimal, as real looking. I want to see my skin. Let me see my skin.
Because you mentioned it, what about body shaming, fat shaming? Like you said, there's so much pressure that girls have to be a certain size, and I have had a lot of kids come and have mental health issues because of being body shamed in school, in college, and especially in this profession.
Yeah.
Is that a harsh reality?
I think somewhere it is, but it's, you can't stop people from saying what they want to say, right? अब तो खैर पहले तो कोई मुंह पे बोलेगा, अब तो ऑनलाइन मतलब imagine those people who are going through every comment. There will be someone or the other who's talking rubbish. Yeah, it is sad. It's just like, I feel like social media, after today's conversation, I'm feeling like social media is the worst thing that has happened ever. Like, it's
I
just.
think so.
Yeah,
Honestly,
but genuinely, it probably is. The positives are also there, but the negatives are, according to me, way higher, and we're not even understanding the impact of it. When a little kid wants to look a certain way because that is what is being seen, or when you see someone else's life and you just see like, oh, this one's having so much fun, this one's also going on a holiday, or this one's having such a good meal, and what am I eating, ghar ka khana, like you start feeling like everyone's having a better life than you are. But you have to reflect on the fact that that's not all of their life. Nobody's showing the parts where they're crying. Nobody's going to put a photograph of me crying. आजकल तो वो भी करते हैं लोग. हाँ, yeah. So आजकल तो वो भी करते हैं लोग. But yeah.
You mentioned online trolling, and there was a time when your films weren't doing well, and you got, whether it's Adi Purush or all those Bachchan Pandes, and you had done till Mimi came along and changed the tide, and even after
Mimi was before this.
Yeah. And then there was a lot of trolling. She's done some bad films and all that. Did that sort of trigger you at any point, and made you reevaluate your decisions? And the kind of trolling certain films of yours or others have been like vicious, almost vicious. As an actor, you do some films where you performance oriented, and then some of your films you're just tempted, wow, it's 100 crore film, it's a 200 crore film, so I need to be part of these big banners. So is that a constant seesaw in your life ki main ye bhi karungi, ye bhi karungi?
See, I do as an actor want to balance it, where I don't want to get into a zone where I'm only like, I only want to do Mimi. No, I like watching every kind of film, right? So then I should also be doing every kind of film where I can entertain the audiences and be a part of different kinds of films. But I feel like, every time that I've not followed my gut, where अंदर से मुझे feeling आई कि मुझे ये करनी है, मुझे नहीं करनी है. Every time I've not felt it in my gut, the film is not done well.
Really?
Yeah, not once has it happened. Where maybe once it happened, where I did a film without really feeling it from inside, and that film did well. But every time, other than that, the film didn't do well.
Which was the film which did well?
I can't say.
But it did well.
Yeah, but I can't say like that, because I don't want to say that I didn't feel like, nah, obviously. But there have also been films which I felt it and I was like, this is a great film to be a part of, and I love the story, whatever, and I didn't end up doing well. So I don't think you can really the success and the failure is not really in your hands. You have to give your 100% to whatever you do. I don't want to be bad in a good film or a bad film. That is something that I can control. That is something I take care of. Yes, after Mimi, I think, like you said, there was also a lot of chatter around me. Ye karna chahiye, wo karna chahiye, blah blah blah. This is such a big film, this is super entertaining. It's okay, you don't have to have a big part in every film, na? So that kind of a thing. And I did like, one, two films which I was not sure of, but they seemed like great projects. And I was like, okay, there are too many actors who are doing it, so it's fine, ना big deal. अब मतलब बाहर हॉलीवुड में तो बहुत लोग करते हैं, क्या फर्क पड़ता है? But when they didn't do well, I was like, I didn't even feel it. I didn't enjoy the process, and then it didn't do well. I'd rather do something that I feel from inside, that instinctively I feel like doing. So, though the trolling didn't matter to me, I saw some trolling when, back to back certain films didn't do well, and stupid people started saying things that, oh, she's unlucky, stuff like that. So I heard those things. I saw one too, but I completely ignored it. It didn't get through me at all. I didn't feel it at all. Also, I, as an actor, had moved on to another film. So that is there. But yes, there was a particular film, which I will again not name, which I didn't have much to do in it, and I still sort of did it for other reasons, and for the experience of it.
Paisa.
No, paisa was not the reason. But otherwise, just like it seemed like a good project, entertaining project, all of that. And I also didn't, towards the end, I mean, I sleepwalked through the role. Towards the end, I also didn't feel valued as an actor.
By the crew.
No, not by the crew in general. Just certain things that happened, which just made me feel like I wasn't valued enough for what I was getting to the table. And that's when when that film didn't do well, in my head there was a shift. Like, I swear, I don't think after so many films not doing well and that film not doing well, I don't think I felt more secure ever. There was a shift in my head because suddenly I knew what I don't want to do. I knew कि मैं ऐसा decision तो नहीं लूँगी. I was clearer about what I wanted to do as an actor. And I think you as an actor have to go through that journey. You have to go through your failures. You have to go through your, ups and downs, different kind of decisions being taken in different phases of your life and career for different reasons. And then you finally reach a point where you're like, this doesn't work for me. So I don't want to do this again, ever. And I want to concentrate on what I really love doing. And I love being on set, and something that excites me to be on set. And Teri Baaton Mein happened, which was a challenging role, which I was already shooting. Now, after Teri Baaton Mein did well, and then Crew did well, people's perceptions, again, what they were talking completely changed. So I'm not that affected by the chatter, because I feel it's very temporary. Like, they don't really realize, but I'm already shooting another film when they're talking about my previous one. So you move on. Ups and downs are a part of this life. You have to just keep doing good work.
In your 10 years, like they say, obviously success, you spoke about failures and success. Failures teach you more than your success does, the cliche. What have been the turning points in these 10 years?
Turning points, I think obviously Dilwale was also a turning point for me in terms of, I wouldn't say a turning point, just a stepping stone, from someone who's absolutely an outsider, who's just done one film, to be doing a film with Shah Rukh, Kajol, the kind of reach it gave me globally. Shah Rukh sir's reach is massive abroad, and that, I think, just got me a little, to the next step. Bareilly was definitely a bit of a turning point and a milestone. I think where it kind of broke a little bit of a perception of, oh, she can also do this. I think one of the first perceptions of a performer came from there. And I feel after that, Mimi. is what I would feel.
Turning
Mimi
point.
kind of like just there was a certain point I was trying to prove that I want to be known as an actor first and not just a star, and I want to do something which is deeper and meatier and really perform well and surprise the audiences. And Mimi gave me that chance. So I feel like Mimi was a definite, huge turning point in my career. Um, Post that I also feel some to a large extent तेरी बातों में,
Yeah.
which I never thought while I was shooting. Like I never thought. I felt like it was a really challenging role. It was a role that could go either ways. It could go like absolutely ये क्या ham acting करी है भी हो सकता था, because it's a robot that is a humanoid so close to being a human, but then a robotics engineer cannot make out that she's a robot, and there's a love story happening, and then she goes backed out at the end. It could really have fallen flat. And while doing that, I was constantly like second guessing myself. मैं ज़्यादा रोबोटिक तो नहीं हो गई हूँ ना, या मैं यहाँ पे बहुत ज़्यादा ह्यूमन लग रहा है ना, थोड़ा सा कम कर देते हैं. Like it was like measured constantly. Even Shahid was like एक बार देख के आते हैं कैसा लग रहा है. So let's see the shot. Everyone was very aware of the fact that there's no reference point to this character. But I think the way the audience accepted Sifra, and just the love that the character got, and even when I like stepped out for like dinners and stuff, you don't expect people to talk about performance unless and until it's a deep, intense role. You don't expect it. You don't expect. तो मेरे को तो लग रहा था तो इसमें तो emotion है ही नहीं. तो ये कहाँ से anybody would get connected to her? So I feel like that for me was a little bit of a shift.
You mentioned Bareilly Ki Barfi. Is there a even Teri Baaton Mein? They're duo directors, right? So one's a girl, one's a boy.
Bareilly is not
Bareilly. Bareilly is Ashwini.
हाँ.
Teri Baaton Mein also
Yeah,
is a girl and boy.
Amit and
So
Aradhana.
when you work with a woman and when you work with a man, is there like a difference in the feminine gaze and the male gaze when a woman's making a film?
I mean, personally, I didn't really feel it. Bareilly was written by Nitesh sir and directed by Ashwini. The same emotion was there when he's written it. For that matter, Mimi was directed by Laxman sir. So
is there like at all, or it's just a
maybe in
perception?
certain kinds of films or certain things that are being said, maybe, but I didn't feel it. I didn't feel it at all. In fact, Amit और Aradhana में तो वो दोनों they are also writers. They've also written the film. They just have two different personalities. Where Amit is very like instinctive with what he's feeling. Aradhana is more the logical one. तो वो घुसेगी नहीं, लेकिन ये तो रोबोट है, तो ये ऐसे कर रही है, बट ये कैसे होगा, ये कैसे हो सकता है. So she was the analytic, logical part of it who was keeping a check कि ये गलत नहीं हो रहा है ना. So I think it's two different personalities, but very honestly, when Laxman sir was shooting the delivery scene in Mimi, I mean, the way he explained me and what he wanted to do with that scene, he was like, I want, फिल्मों में दिखाते हैं 3 चीख मारी और बच्चा हो गया. ऐसे नहीं होता है बच्चा. So I want people to watch this scene and feel the pain of a mother. I want every husband to look at his wife, have like goosebumps, look at his wife and feel like, oh my God, she went through this. I want to show that pain, real and raw. And that, I mean, a man saying that and understanding that, who's not gone through that pain himself, was just commendable. That's the way he wanted to show it.
Tell me, has your height been a deterrent when you act in your dating life and when you act
in my dating life
with your co-stars and in your dating life?
See, my dating life is just like I usually.
I'm coming to that in a bit.
In my dating life, I usually don't see beyond below my height. I think मैं ऊपर ही देखती हूँ, ऐसे होता है usually. So that's just a thing. That's the way I am. I don't think.
ऊपर ही देखती हूँ मतलब क्या? उसके head के ऊपर?
ऊपर ही देखती हूँ in the sense मेरे height के नीचे मुझे ज़्यादा दिखता नहीं है. So I feel like, I mean, I've always wanted to. I always get attracted to men who are like
Tall.
taller, or even at same height. That's also okay. But I always do. Like I want to like be able to lean on someone's shoulder, and to at least be able to kiss like that and not like this. So, so that's my only thing. In films, no, I don't think so. I mean, a lot of the actors that I've worked with and had great chemistry with have been shorter than me. So, apart from just being on set and having to stand like that in close-up shots, that's the only thing. But it's okay. Even the guy stands with the patla so many times. It's fine.
The last time I spoke to you and your mom together for an interview, you said your mom doesn't approve of any of your relationship. So has the status changed? Obviously, you will say, "Oh, I'm single. I'm not dating. Maine karti, maine," and you'll this. But my question to you is, of course, the photographs are splashed on social media.
Social media is not good for your mental health.
Yeah.
Jits, I don't think you should be watching social media or believing things that you see.
Okay, I don't believe. My question to you is, as this super successful, intelligent entrepreneur, stroke actor, stroke, lots of stuff, and now you have a film on release, Do Patti. Please watch.
Please watch.
So, does that intimidate men? A lot of men are not easy with successful women, and for all that they say men definitely take a back seat, as in they are conscious, and they're not very comfortable with a successful girlfriend or a wife. It may be okay for a girlfriend. I'm just talking about
Yeah, how
couples
people
I
are.
meet.
Yeah.
But when the wife, then of course an abhiman situation comes. But have you ever faced that with your partner in the past?
No, not really. I mean, yeah, I feel like insecurity, I think I've had like one person in my past who had like maybe a little bit of insecurity of me being successful and all of that. But I don't think that lasts. No, that is a red flag, to be honest.
Yeah.
It
Of
is
course.
something that, because you have to have a partner who, you have to make each other be the best versions, be able to grow and evolve and support each other in that. I think being more or less successful should not matter. It's, I am proud of you and I'm supporting you in everything that you want to do, and I want you to be the best version you can be. That's how partners should be. So, I mean, that's what I look for in a man, to be honest.
Is it easier dating an actor, or is it easier dating somebody from an outside profession? Like, do you feel an actor gets it better, or it's too incestuous?
I think, I mean, yeah, an actor might get certain situations better because you work in the same profession. But I also feel like actors are very vain. They are very vain. And then, I also feel like the only conversations and the only things that are around you are this cocoon, this bubble of this profession. So it is also refreshing to talk to someone who's absolutely from the outside, who doesn't know you, or the persona of you, who takes you as a normal human being and you can just talk about life and other things. I feel like that's also refreshing. So everyone has their own pros and cons, to be honest, but it's at the end of it, it's actor, non-actor. It is two people who have to be in sync, who have to be best friends, who have to feel a certain way towards each other and feel that feeling called love. Wow, 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 wow.
Wow. What advice would you give the girl who started off 10 years ago?
Don't be too harsh on yourself. Don't stress too much. Keep working and you will get there when you have to. Everything happens at the right time for the right reasons. Both your ups and downs are going to be for the right reason, and just stay true to the person that you are, because this is the industry where it's very easy to lose the core. It's very easy to change. So I think that's the only thing I would say. Like everything, success and failure are temporary. So don't like really be so hard on yourself that you need it now, or why you not getting the opportunity now. It'll happen when you're ready.
So you're not a jugadu, you're not a hustler. Or have you had to hustle for stuff?
hustle for stuff in the sense, see, I'm not someone who it I mean, I'm not someone who easily can tell someone or message a director that I want to work with you. But I learned that you know it's important to let people know that you genuinely like their work and you would love to work with them. And I also feel like there have been times where I've not felt like I had that opportunity in front of me, or as an actor also I was craving to perform, you know, post Mimi, and I was wanting something intense. Do Patti is something that it's an opportunity I've created, you know, for even the actor in me. It's not just about producing and just about, you know, doing the film. I was actually craving for something deeper, meatier, intense, you know, performance oriented. That actor in me was like, mil nahi raha hai kuch. So it was an opportunity created. So I do believe that if you don't wait for every opportunity to happen, if you have the power, make it happen.
Have you lost out roles to kids from film families because you've auditioned, say 10 auditions, 5 auditions, and you've lost out because someone has easier access to that, or something else has been said which has led to another actor being cast? This may be in the beginning of your career, has stuff like that where because you're an outsider and you probably didn't have the right connect, so you've lost out on a role. Has that ever happened?
Lost out, I can only talk about like if I knew that something could have happened and then didn't happen. I mean, otherwise, there are so many opportunities which are great opportunities, but you don't have a way to even reach out or be in the radar, you know, because there could be someone else who personally knows the person, can make you meet the person, stuff like that. Um, so I've not had anyone give like opportunities on a platter in the beginning of my career. And yeah, there were like there were 1-2 films where I was hearing that they were considering me and I was in like the top 3 and all of that. And they were like big films, and then suddenly I heard some, not on the top 3, some other name only pop up that was, you know, from a film
Film
background.
family.
Yeah. And someone made a call and stuff like that. So it's happened. But as I said, everything happens for a reason. You get the right projects at the right time.
When you saw those posters on, they said अच्छा हुआ मैंने ये picture नहीं किया. Has that happened with you?
I don't remember actually if that film worked or it didn't work. Yeah, I don't think it worked. Yeah, I don't think it worked.
And finally, do we expect a dark, deep side from you seeing the trailers of Do Patti? Did you tap into your dark side?
My dark side. I can just say I enjoyed playing the sassy, bitchy Shelly. I think the fact that she's so unapologetic and there's something evil, almost badass about her. You know, I think I liked playing that because I feel like those characters, there's something liberating because they have no boundaries. You know, they're not bound by like morally correct and all of that, which I am in life. You know, I have a strong moral compass, and for me, I'm like, no, I don't want to hurt anyone and all of that. But then when you get to play a character that doesn't care, you know, there's a certain sense of extra confidence that comes in, and you know, you enjoy doing that because it's not you in life. And it's suddenly like liberating. You're like, I don't give a damn, you know. So I loved playing her character. But yes, you will see a very different and edgy side to me, or sides I can say, in the film. When Kanika writes characters, they're not straight ever. Everyone has like some
Yeah.
layers to it. So both Soumya and Shelly, have their own baggages and have their own demons, and just like it's fun.
So now here's an audience which also wants to ask you a few questions.
Okay.
Shoot.
If you had to tell me about this one holiday from the recent past that was probably really memorable, what would it be?
I think Greece was a lot of fun. Greece was always on my bucket list of the places that I really wanted to go to. and I think it's beautiful. I went at the right time. It wasn't like too hot, it wasn't like cold. And I used to see these pictures of Santorini and Mykonos, which were like really white and pretty, and I always wanted to go there and click some pictures. Yeah, so that was one of like.
तुम लोग क्या करते हो? 5 स्टार में रहते हो, रूम सर्विस ऑर्डर करते हो?
किसने बोला?
I am asking, or do you like really travel, go into
Of
interiors?
course, go out, go in the the street shopping at Greece is amazing. Both at Mykonos and Santorini, there are these really white, like maze-like gullies which are there. Those are the places where we can actually go out and not bother.
Good place for romance also.
Great place.
Hi Kriti. So Do Patti is a women-led project, and in the past couple of years, you have done films that either talk about women empowerment or has a strong women backing it. So right now, what kind of challenges do you think women in the industry, film industry, face?
I just feel like, it's getting better, to be honest. I'm really fortunate that I'm in this time where story has become the real star of the film. Who's the actor, male, female, doesn't matter so much. And I'm glad that women themselves are also taking that step of choosing meteor parts and something that gives them value and, values their talent. So I think it's a great time that's going on. I still feel like whenever there's a film that's been made on more surrounding a female protagonist, I feel like they're looked at as a smaller film. कि ये पता नहीं इतना पैसा कमाएगी नहीं कमाएगी, ये तो इसका बजट इतना ज़्यादा नहीं है, सो आई फील कि वो एक परसेप्शन जो है ना वो ब्रेक करना पड़ेगा और किसी को करना पड़ेगा थिंकिंग कि आई बिलीव इन दिस स्टोरी. Forget about it's a man or a woman. I want to put the money on the story. So I'm going to shoot it and treat it like how I would have treated it if my main character was a man. Those low angle, larger than life shots, that you would get when you're seeing a Pathan. The thing that you feel, it's an experience of that needs to be watched at theaters, that gets the masses in. I feel like that risk needs to be taken when there is a female Pathan, where you put in that money, you take that punt because you believe in that story and you show that woman also larger than life. It was done at Gangubai. I feel like the way Mr. Bansali presented Gangubai, his Gangubai was the story and this character that he imagined. And he put in that much money, he showed it in that, larger than life scale, which then got the return also. It made the money also, it got in the audience also excited. So I think it's a cycle. If you don't put in the money, you're not going to risk it, you're not going to make it that big, then you're not going to get the money in return also. So that cycle needs to be broken, I feel.
What are the top 5 qualities you look for in an ideal partner?
You have a partner? Huh?
You can't ask her in front of her boss.
Arey, why? Why, she's supposed to be a monk or what?
She's a little bashful. She's never discussed her dating life.
And she has a twin sister.
And I have a twin sister.
What are you saying? You have a twin sister? Arey, I should have got her, yeah. You guys have never had a same partner, no?
But one has to be evil. That part is true. If you have twin sister, one has to be evil.
So are you the evil one or she's the evil
I
one?
wouldn't know. If I was the evil one, I wouldn't know.
No,
They're
she's
both
not
evil
evil.
for each
She is being diplomatic right now.
No, she's not evil.
She's not evil. So basically she's saying your sister is evil.
Like a video interview.
I don't know. Let me add in the video interview that I've not met her twin sister, but Tanzim is definitely not evil.
Yeah,
So you have Do Patti happening right
happening right here. 5 things that you would want in an ideal partner. Respect. Mutual respect, I would say. Honesty. You should be able to say anything and everything to each other. And just thick friendship. It's important to just, even when I need a friend, I want to tell something that has happened in my life, that should be the first person that I should think of. To be able to humor. Life's boring, no? Otherwise, it can be very serious. So yeah, to be able to be stupid with each other, I think that's very important. And I think just similar set of values. You know, just I come from a certain kind of family. I'm attached to my family. I think having similar family values is very, very important.
Thank you.
If I were you, I mean, would have expected her to say good sex too.
Oh, that is very important. It is also very important.
Okay, here's wishing you more fun and lots of love in your future endeavors. Lots of love.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.